At this conference, we continue to have information to support that our top 4 combinations, at least in the U.S. guidelines, continue to have excellent outcomes. We've seen long-term data on those combinations that continues to support them. In terms of new drugs, we have a couple of front runners. Rilpivirine was recently approved. We presented here the 2-year data on rilpivirine, showing that rilpivirine performs at least as well as efavirenz, particularly in those people whose viral load is below 100,000 when they start. In people whose viral load is above 100,000, there certainly does appear to be an increased risk of virologic failure. And so this drug is looking particularly important as an option for people whose viral load is on the lower half rather than the higher half. Though there are people certainly with high viral loads who do quite well on rilpivirine, I think it's fair to say that the field is learning from that study. In addition, at year 2, we don't see any new toxicities on rilpivirine. The drug continues to look actually very well tolerated. So the initial story of it being an easier to tolerate drug than efavirenz continues to be true at year 2. We also saw some pretty exciting data on some new drugs like dolutegravir, the next integrase inhibitor, in its phase 2 trial, continuing to look really quite excellent in the field. At this conference, we continue to see that data. We also learned that elvitegravir, the integrase inhibitor being developed by Gilead, is at least as potent as raltegravir in suppressing the virus in treatment-experienced patients. So we've got good news on our pipeline on those drugs. We did see another non-nucleoside study of a drug that's called lursivirine, and this is a drug being developed by ViiV. And its efficacy was probably okay, though there was a little bit of a question mark because some patients with high viral loads didn't do as well, and the author explained that as possibly being an adherence concern. And that may be true, but it certainly raises a question mark for the drug. In addition, they showed us that about 40% of patients complained of nausea on that drug, and they didn't give us enough detail to know if that's temporary, the first month, or all year long. And so I think we're going to need a little more information to know exactly where this drug belongs and fits. Nevertheless, it's always encouraging to see that companies continue to look for a pipeline. So I think that we've got continued good news in prevention, continued good news on treatment. The treatments we have work. They work so well that we are enthusiastic about the possibility of treating anyone with HIV infection, both to protect a partner as well as to protect themselves.